So one of the things that you need to know about a program like ChatGPT is that it's a model that uses a type of neural network. It's called a transformer, and that's how it learns patterns of text. And so once it gets enough quality examples of that particular pattern, it's able to regenerate it an infinite amount of times based on the ways that you prompt it. So it makes it in many ways very ideal for any type of informational writing, some technical and professional writing, some marketing writing. But I want to give you a little bit of a demonstration about how we can kind of take that concept of the pattern but use our prompt, what's called prompt engineering, in different ways to get different levels of specificity, because the quality of the AI output rests on the quality of the AI input, and that's going to always come from the human, the person who is putting in the information or the words that he or she chooses to get the information that they want. So I'm in Chat GPT right now, and we're going to begin, just for simplicity's sake, we're going to generate a poem. And what better topic to generate a poem about than myself? So I'm going to just say, please write a poem about Dr. Ryan Bedker. So Dr. Ryan Bedker, a name to know, brilliant mind, heart of gold. So far everything looks accurate. All right, so empathy helps to ease pain and suffering. All of these things, of course, are true. I couldn't have written a better poem. But here you go again. The idea here is that this particular system, has ingested enough different patterns and different styles of poems. They know sentiments and emotions that surround particular subjects. All right, so now that we've generated this basic poem, let's make it a little bit more specific. And so I've said, thank you. This was great. Now I want you to write a haiku about Dr. Ryan Bedker, technical communication professor at UNT, and his amazing course on grants and proposals. You'll remember that the first prompt was just kind of open-ended. Give me a poem. Here I specified a specific type or subgenre of poetry, which has its own restrictions and parameters. I also added the fact that I was a UNT professor of technical communication. So I've added a few more details, again in an effort to focus the prompt and to get more at exactly the type of output that I'm seeking. So let's see now what ChatGPT will generate in haiku form. Grants and proposals, Dr. Bedker guides us well, funding success found. And I think that's a haiku. I would have to clap the syllables for the line, but I think that's 575. But again, this would probably be something that I would fact check, since I've forgotten haiku structure, because you'll notice that the AI output is with amazing confidence. So now I want to rewrite the haiku into a 50-word poem in the style of Robert Frost. And again, this is another way that you can begin to create or ideate with an AI tool. I just again added quantification for a 50-word poem in the style of Robert Frost. So I have identified a specific poet, because again, running off of these neural networks, it's going to be able to pull things that are written by Frost or in the style of Frost. If you didn't want to use Robert Frost, you could say a major American poet. You could say any like 20th century poet. So you can see what it did here. It wrote something in the style of Robert Frost, but you'll notice that it still kept it in haiku form. It didn't actually do what I asked it to do. So again, this is a prompt engineering lesson. I said rewrite that haiku, but maybe I should have used a more specific or concrete verb. So what I might now say instead is, I'm going to give it a command verb, and I'm going to say expand the haiku into a 50-word poem in the style of Robert Frost, and we'll see what it comes up with. So here we go. Much more in the style, even looking at the line length, it makes me flash back to 11th grade English class. And it gives me a note in here, which I've not seen before. He goes, I expanded a bit more than 50 words, but I try to convey the idea of Robert Frost's style of poetry, which is often characterized by its focus on nature, rural life, and everyday struggles of common people using simple yet powerful and evocative language. So that's interesting to me, that it included those types of things. And you can, again, you can see the transformer, that neural network that learns these different patterns. These are the types of characteristics that it took out of Frost's study, and you can see here that it's a journey through the grant's rough path, funding we will find with its guidance and its math. We could continue on and keep going with this, but this was just a simple example where we began with the pattern of a poem. We then expanded it to a specific type of poem, a haiku. We then added quantification to that, 50 words, and linked it to a specific poet, a specific style of poetry that we wanted, and gradually began to drill down until we got to what we wanted. And these are strategies that you should employ anytime you're ideating or brainstorming with ChatGPT or any similar AI tool.